Now, look, how powerful is this device? It's incredible how powerful this has become. And I think one thing that all of us have heard is that, is there an app for that? And we have somebody here who's going to talk to us about an app that they have created that is going to help us to find water in our communities and get access to it. And that is a way to help reduce single-use plastic bottle waste. So please join me in welcoming Evelyn Wendel from WeTap.
So in the U.S., 50% of people drink bottled water as their main source of drinking water. And yet hydrologists, leading hydrologists have said that 90 to 95% of the drinking water is safe to drink, right? So my name is Evelyn Wendel, and I founded WeTap. WeTap is devoted to one of our greatest public treasures, which is the public drinking fountain. We work to improve public water, access, awareness, and use, and of course, drinking fountains. I started WeTap because single-use plastic scares me. I believe the public fountain is one of the single most critical components to reducing single-use plastic. And I'm thrilled to be among all of you guys who are doing such good work. It's wonderful. So great civilizations can only become great when they harness the ability to provide water to their communities. Consider how vast our oceans are and how small a percentage of the water on Earth is drinkable. The UN recognizes water as a fundamental human right. Water makes life possible, but drinking water makes life livable, right? So we are all here because of the legacy of our water. We wouldn't be here without the legacy of water. The LA Aqueduct System is listed as a historical civil engineering landmark. When LA was young and it only had 100,000 people, local water was not enough. LA had reached unsustainable levels of resource consumption and allocation of tap water, and the year was 1904. Imagine that. So the aqueduct was conceived, engineered by William Mulholland, as you probably know. It took 6 years to build. It covers 223 miles. 53 of them are underground tunnels. So providing drinking water to our cities is really complicated. It's much more complicated than we think. Snowmelt from the Sierras provides clean, fresh water that feeds 120 pumps that go full-time and 80 pumps that are turned on and off depending on demand. There's approximately 160 water agencies in the U.S., varying sizes, of course. Cities have tremendous underground webs of infrastructure to make it possible for us to turn on the taps at home and in our communities. The ability to orchestrate, innovate, engineer, to strategically plan the accessibility of tap water for consumption for everyone is modern man's marvel. And it's a tremendous responsibility. So the next time you turn on the tap or take a drink of water from a drinking fountain, take a moment to appreciate all the manipulation, the capturing behind dams, storing it, rerouting it through concrete rivers, distances of hundreds of miles for us. Luckily, we also have a history of taking problems and challenges and turning them into opportunities. We find solutions, we adopt, and we overcome. So providing tap water to people is not a political game, it's real. Mulholland was kind of like the modern Moses, right? He recognized the need for public water, to provide public water to people, and he also disdained politics. When he was asked to run for office, he said he'd rather give birth to a porcupine backwards than be mayor of Los Angeles. So I'm not a politician either, I'm a mom. And as my kids were growing up, I volunteered in schools, I taught art, I helped in the classroom, but I just saw so fast how plastic pollution is epidemic. Even though we provided, education programs every year, it just proliferated. I mean, it's ridiculous. When I took my kids to parks, I saw that fountains weren't available. And if sometimes when they were available, they were broken, or they had non-potable water. So how do we avoid plastic? I actually believe that the basic drinking fountain is a real solution to eliminating single-use plastic water bottles and helping improve public health, community well-being, restoring public confidence in public water, in our water supply. I think it's the only way. So essentially, this began when I had volunteer opportunities, and one of them was working with Maria Shriver in the Women's Conference. And the first year I volunteered there, they gave out 15,000 water bottles at lunchtime. The next year, WeTap was successful, and we distributed 15,000 reusable canteens to everybody in there. And we drilled a filling station in the Long Beach Convention Center. So drinking fountains are a powerful connectedness, right? Public water is our water. We do not need corporations to sell us back the water that's already ours. We just don't. So a robust drinking fountain network is not only important, but it's very doable. During the first few years of WeTap, I was invited to DC. I met with Nancy Stoner at the EPA, the US EPA. She was the assistant administrator in the Department of Water. So during the Obama years, on their website, on the EPA website, they had an appeal to communities who wanted to improve their fountains. I found out that I was the only one who had called. Like, crazy. So Nancy and I had some memorable conversations, and one of them was she was really concerned when she saw a child go up to a fountain, and the mom panicked and said, "Don't drink from that fountain." And I said that I get concerned when a kid goes up to a fountain and it's broken. So there's many layers of the complexities of public drinking fountains. So some of our initiatives, WeTap started Tap Water Day, which is the Thursday of Drinking Water Week, which is the first week of May. This year it's May 9th, with the American Water Works Association and the Mayor of LA and LADWP and the LA County Department of Public Health and the Cal EPA. It's a group of partners. It's a celebration of public water and drinking fountains. Here in LA, I'm really proud to announce this first public announcement. We are planning for the Olympics and with LADWP in the city. And there's going to be fountains all over the city, and we're going to do an educational program to visitors and residents of Los Angeles. WeTap is going to be highlighted in the LA's sustainability plan. The mayor's re-releasing. It's the refresh. It'll be out in a few weeks, so please look for it. WeTap helps bridge the gap between school responsibility and priorities. LA Unified committed $20 million. They had a flushing policy for all their close to 50,000 drinking fountains. So they've tested all their fountains again, and they continue to test them. They've eliminated the flushing policy. We're going back to their board, and their goal is now to put 1 to 4 filling stations in each of their schools. So, LA Unified, it's great. LA Unified is the second largest school district in the country. It has about 600,000 kids. So, and then there's money from the state of California for disadvantaged schools in California. WeTap helped advocate for that. But even with that funding from the state, the school districts are hesitant to apply. So WeTap, we are a partner with schools to help improve campuses. So the sky's the limit. Business and foundations can sponsor education programs, school science projects, art projects. Really, the sky's the limit. Imagination, right? We need that. One of our proud accomplishments is the WeTap app. We were the first app in the world to exist. We developed it about 8 years ago. We started our first version at UCLA, and I'm a Bruin. We found out there were no outdoor drinking fountains at UCLA. The app is participatory, open source. We have over 35,000 entry points. Our next version is, when it comes out, we're going to have such exciting features. I'm so excited about it. So in Los Angeles, there are no records of public drinking fountains. There's no records of public drinking fountains. And I would imagine that's across the country. It's just, they were installed and there's no records. And So, and I'm sure a lot of you have either been to Rome or read about Rome or seen pictures of the beautiful fountains in Rome, right? Fountains are public treasures. In Paris, they have the Wallace fountains, which are architectural landmarks. In Portland, they have the Benson bubblers. But ironically, both of these initiatives grew out of temperance movements. You know, so citizens could have access to a drink that wasn't sinfully alcoholic, right? But now the new morality of today is to rid ourselves of plastic, right? So there is a tremendous opportunity for the private-public partnerships for common good. So the initiatives that, the principles that drive our initiatives is public health. We cannot undervalue the importance of water access to healthy communities. Kids perform better in school. Kids think more clearly. We all think more clearly, right, when we're well hydrated. Public utilities manage fluoride levels, which prevent tooth decay. Kids should not ingest hardening agents, right, from single-use plastic water bottles. We need to make sure fountains are available. Public water stewardship is taught to our children. It's very important. Pollution. Single-use plastic is not convenient anymore. Of course, China doesn't want our trash, so there's no over there anymore. We have to enlighten those that don't understand. And it's our responsibility because it's our children's legacy we're talking about, right? Economic justice. Single-use plastic is an economic justice issue. If a family lives on 30 grand a year, family of 4, do they need or can they spend a huge percentage of their money on bottled water? They shouldn't, and they shouldn't. So underserved communities need our protection, and WeTap is committed to supporting disadvantaged communities in urban environments. So I'm enlisting all of you to join WeTap's mission. Please download the app. Make history by mapping drinking fountains. Use the app when you're bike riding or going to an event in a new part of town that you've never been to. And beyond the app, we are here to field your concerns about local parks and schools to make sure that fountains are best tested and maintained. Teach your kids to trust the public drinking fountain. Use them yourself. Depend on them. We don't need to obsessively search for water. We have other people doing that for us. This is fundamental. This defines humanity. We can enhance our civility and our lives. We'll have positive social changes. So the drinking fountain is not a relic. It's a modern gift. We need to be diligent, and we need to celebrate the tap. Thank you.
Thank you, Evelyn. You know, there's always a problem that is looking for a solution, and who would have thought that a simple app could help lead us to that? I had no idea that our water fountains weren't mapped. You know, such a simple thing. Yeah, so now they are, WeTap, so make sure you guys download it. Okay, we got one last little announcement from Angela's son. She's just going to share something with us. I thought it would be important for all of you to hear this announcement. She just told it to me, so here you go.
So I came into this really quick from Plastic Paradise, which is my film about the Great Pacific Garbage Patch about a decade ago now, that I started that journey and met Vipe and a bunch of great people, and here we are now still talking about this ever-growing global issue, right? So I actually, on my day job, I host TV shows and I work in sports as a sports broadcaster. We'll be out at opening day tomorrow if anyone's going to be there at the stadium. But I work for Spectrum News 1, which is new to Southern California, and we are always looking for story ideas and people to profile. And like I said about radical collaboration, if you guys have a message or want to share about something, we just talked about the Ocean Heroes Boot Camp yesterday on my show. So I'm the 5 p.m. anchor Monday through Friday. Would love to chat with you guys. I know Vipe's going to come on, Matt's going to come on. I have a bunch of other people. But, you know, the power of media and sharing and using that platform, I'd love to connect with you. So reach out. I'm at Sunny Angela on Twitter and Instagram and whatnot. And then if you guys have ideas or want to just share about what you guys are doing as local businesses or environmentalists or whatnot, but we are we're dedicated to be hyper local. So it is about the community, for the community, and we want to tell stories about the people in our communities. So hit me up.
Awesome. That's great. That's great. I think there's some people here who could, use a little bit of media. So, Angela, thanks so much for making that available. Okay, so this is like my second best part of the day. It's lunchtime. Okay? But more importantly, it is time for all of you to talk about what you've heard so far and meet each other and talk. We'll be back at 1 o'clock, so take care of business, have lunch, and we'll see you in just a minute. Okay, thanks.